So Donald Trump and Elon Musk are hanging around, and what is that they talk about? Well, of course, the president of Argentina, Javier Milei. Guys, welcome to the channel, and it sounds like a bad joke, but it's actually true. Before I go on, remember that if you want to get prepared, if you want to learn more about realistic, practical survival and preparedness, you have the channel and you have my books, Surviving the Economic Collapse and Street Survival Skills. Both of these will really help you in getting better prepared for the times that we're living in and the ones to come. Let's check this out and comment.
The new head of a place called Argentina, and he's a big,
Malay's
awesome. He's great, and he's a big MAGA fan. You know that he ran on MAGA, and he took it to an extreme too. He ran on MAGA, and I hear he's doing really a terrific job. It's called Make Argentina Great Again. It worked out perfectly. He's doing a big job. He really cut. And I'm hearing they're starting to do pretty well. Inflation's getting down. You know, they had like 2,000%. And they had inflation like not normal inflation. They had the real deal. But we're going to have that pretty soon. We have, I think we have the worst inflation we've had in 100 years.
Yes.
They say it's 48 years. I don't believe it. I think we have the worst. They don't.
I know I sometimes don't agree much with Trump. You know, I'm not much of a fanboy in general of anyone. But man, is he right about this. The inflation you're seeing in the United States, it's all over the world. But in the United States specifically, it is a lot more than what's officially admitted.
Include a lot of the items that should be included.
There you go.
Milei is doing is, you know, he's cutting government spending. He's simplifying things. He's putting in regulations that make sense. Argentina overnight is experiencing a giant improvement in prosperity. But it's also a lesson for the United States. Argentina used to be one of the most prosperous countries in the world, like in the 30s, 40s, and because of bad government policy, it ruined the country.
So, interesting take from these two guys. Crazy, right? But, I mean, first of all, why is it that Trump likes Milei so much? Well, because of this. President! Why? Because Javier Milei definitely, genuinely adores Donald Trump. He really, really likes Donald Trump. It's something that he's always been very outspoken about. Even when people, even when in politics it was not like politically correct to, I like Trump. Javier Milei was always, I really like Trump. So that's why Trump likes him back. Now, in terms of policy, it is true that, and you've seen many of the videos in which Milei goes around like removing like departments from the government and afuera, and he just removes everything. That is true, kind of true. In some ways, some departments were completely just deleted, and that's always awesome, especially with you know, which government can say it hasn't got a bloated bureaucratic mess going on? And certainly in the case of Argentina, it was true. Now, it's also true that many of these departments were simply just cut back a little bit and assimilated by something else. For example, recently, Milei fixed racism by removing the Department of Racism, Inclusion, and Discrimination, and whatever wokey, shitty name it had going on. Milei said, nah, this is not a real thing. Done. You know, erased. But most of those people simply were assimilated into the Department of, Defense, Security, anyway, something that something legally speaking. So basically what it should have been all along, right? If anyone commits crimes against people, if you're being discriminated against, and you have a law that definitely does protect your rights in Argentina as well as in many other places, but it shouldn't be a specific wing of the government dedicated to racism, another one dedicated to discrimination, another one dedicated to the rights of women, and another one for the LGBT. It all basically comes down to, is this illegal or not? And if it's illegal, well, you shouldn't do it, and if you do it, there will be consequences. Basically, like sanitizing a lot of the wokey nonsense. So that's very much correct, and I think he's doing again, I'm not a fanboy of Milei either. In fact, I have like a strong position, especially with his agenda with Israel and all of that, which it's not compatible. You can't be pro-freedom, liberty, and support something that is, well, what Israel is these days. If you don't know what it is, maybe you should look into it. But those things are not compatible. And I see that he is having a little bit of a strained position with that, being a huge Israel fan, mostly being a giant a fan of Judaism, and I think he converted. I don't know. I mean, I don't care about the religion of politicians, and it should not matter. But I know that there's something about that going on. So maybe that interferes with his libertarian values at some point, and maybe that's a conflict going on. But in terms of why is it that Elon Musk likes Javier Milei so much, it's kind of like the same thing. Javier Milei likes Elon Musk. Javier Milei will be usually very much on the side, again, Israel case apart, he's usually going to be on the side of anything that's promoting libertarian, freedom-loving values, right? Again, very conflicting with what's been happening in that part of the world recently. But with Elon Musk, they got together. And why is it that Elon Musk really likes Javier Milei too? Well, because Elon Musk knows that Javier Milei, being the president of Argentina, and if he does a decent job, he will be the president of Argentina. I mean, he's just getting started. He recently won the election. I think it was like less than 6 months ago, a year ago? It doesn't matter, but there's still a long time ahead. And if he does a decent job, he will be president again. And Elon Musk likes maybe Javier Milei on a personal level, but most of all, he likes lithium, and he likes oil, and he likes resources, and he likes food, all of which Argentina has plenty. Enormous resources. It is basically giant-ass country full of resources, most of those which are not being exploited, especially in terms of lithium. It's one of the largest reserves of lithium in the planet. And you want to have lithium, and if that lithium is in a pro-American, free market-friendly country, that's definitely something that interests Elon Musk. Oil as well, anything in terms of resources like that, it is huge. And of course, food and the rest of the production that you have. But mostly, it's gonna be because of that. And he also likes the idea of cutting back on red tape, on bureaucracy. Cutting back on regulation is something that Javier Milei has always been very big into, and he's talked about that with Elon Musk. And Elon Musk loves the idea of deregulating things. Now, would I agree with? Usually, yeah. I mean, there are regulations that are there for a purpose. I mean, I'll give you the perfect example. Talking about resources in Argentina, right? Argentina has gold. Gold is nice. It's nice to have a ton of gold. Well, it's nice to have gold, and it's nice to have mining companies that make money out of that if you're getting a fair cut from it. But it's not so nice when that exploitation of minerals such as gold also involves use of cyanide in pools that are constantly breaking and polluting. This is not a climate change. You know what I mean? It's not like, bullshitty no. You're talking about cyanide ending up in your rivers. That sucks. That's not something you want to have. And that's the kind of thing where, yeah, I want to have regulations that make sure not only that this does not happen, maybe find some other way, and maybe it's just not fucking worth it. If you're going to have your rivers polluted with cyanide because a Canadian company is exploiting that resource and making money and leaving some behind, often a lot of that just disappears in the hands of politicians, and locals see very little of that. So there are certain regulations that should be in place and make perfect sense and keep people safe from situations like these. So I agree with deregulating, especially the nonsense that does nothing other than create jobs within itself because of pure bureaucracy. There are certain limits to what you should or should not be able to do, but I guess there's a sweet spot there in between where everyone can get along and have enough freedom to develop and have a nation go forward and grow and have a better economy and all the things we want to have, while at the same time safeguarding the things you definitely want to protect, such as water and not having fucking poison in your rivers. So guys, basically that's it. That's why these two were talking about Javier Milei, and I think it's interesting. I think it's good. Let's see how things go. Fingers crossed we don't end up, and when I say we, I mean we as planet Earth do not deserve to get Kamala Harris as president of the United States. I don't think that's fair. It would not be good. Let's basically put it that way. Guys, see you next time. Take care.